Hey fam, for those of you who want a baby so bad and you don't care what your circumstances are, whether or not you have a husband, because that is very important component to being a parent, is having two parents. And for those of you who are too young with no goals and no money, who say, I just want to be loved, I'm going to go have me a baby, and all in between, y'all listen to this.
I'm not one to even make posts like this, but I just had to say how hard it is to be a mom. No one will ever understand the sacrifices we have to make to be a good mom every day. And it's so hard every single day to do it. And we come last. The moms, we come last so much. So this is just like a real time moment where a lot of shit just broke down that I had planned and thought I was gonna do. And being a mom has to come first. So I'm doing it. And I'm gonna do it. But I just wanted to just fucking say how hard it is because it's so hard.
Poor child. Listen. Years ago, right? This was before I had children. Because most women, we have this fantasy of growing up and getting married and having babies. Because that's a beautiful experience. It is God ordained, basically. So we have this innate nature to want to have children. Right? This nurturing spirit needs to be exercised. And it's a beautiful thing. And when I was younger, I desired it. I kept saying, I want children. I want my husband. These are the things I dreamt about. And I had seen a show, I think it was Oprah, many years ago. And it was a show of mothers who were not enjoying motherhood. And that seemed like something far-fetched to me. You know, we are so judgmental. Unless we are in somebody else's shoes, then we can relate. But when it's something that's like something that you don't even think about, you tend to judge other people. But as I got older, I learned better, honey. I learned. These women had come on and they were saying how motherhood was not what they thought it was going to be cracked up to be. In other words, it was much harder. A lot of them were depressed, going through postpartum. They were not enjoying being a mother. The children basically sucked the life out of them because your life is not your own anymore once you have a child. You are responsible for other lives. If you have 5, 6, 7 of them, some people have a whole lot of children, and some of us will have one, and it will still be overwhelming. And you're not yourself anymore. Your time is not yours anymore. You're not free to do whatever you want to do anymore. Even taking a bubble bath might be something that's rare when you have children. You cannot just get up and go when you want. You have to make a plan for somebody responsible to take care of that child. You cannot go to school if you have no one to help you, because some of us do have help. If you have no one to help you, you cannot make choices outside of putting that child first. Some of us can't even have the time to read a book, the Bible, or even a novel, whatever it is you want to read. You don't even have the time to do that. Some moms can't even sleep because they have children who do not sleep. Now, I'm going to tell you about how mothering was for me. For me, I started out married, right? We had our first child and we had a big discrepancy. We made up. I got pregnant again. We had our second child. By the time before she was even born, we broke up again. We got back together when they were 5 and 3. I got pregnant again. Every time we made up, I got pregnant. The third time, I lost that baby. I miscarried that baby. But sometime after that, we ended up breaking up yet again. Now, we were young and dumb, had no idea what it was like to be married. We never even seen a healthy married couple. We did not have God in our lives to lead us. We were very young. There were so many things against us. And me, I was very emotional in my feelings, and I was all about to pay back, to get back, A long story. But inevitably, I ended up being a single mom. I happen to enjoy being a mother. You know why? My children were pretty pleasant to have. Now, This will make or break you as far as being a parent. When you have children that are rude, loud, obnoxious, disobedient, very clingy, and extremely selfish, where they always want to have their way, so they're having tantrums, they're very disagreeable, they don't sleep, they're picky with everything they eat, they're violent because a lot of them hit other children and they even hit you. When you have a child like that, can you imagine spending day after day with a child like that? And then when somebody asks you, how's motherhood? And you go, a lot of mothers are regretting that they had their children. I had so much fun with mine. I enjoyed them so much because their dad and I broke up. When he would have to come get them for the summer, I would be upset. Definitely was not keeping them away from their dad. They needed their dad, but I felt like I had nothing to do. I missed my babies. And I remember my good friend at the time, she was like, girl, you out your mind. You gotta enjoy your time to yourself. If they were hard to deal with children, I would have probably said, take them and don't bring them back. But because my babies were pretty decent, I enjoyed them. I played with them. I did everything with them. So parenting for me was a joy. And they can tell you today that they had a good time with their mama. They were good kids to deal with. If they weren't, I told them, I said, I don't have patience. God blessed me. Because if y'all were crazy, I would have packed y'all up and sent y'all with your father. Now I understand what other mothers are saying, and I understand where they're coming from. Because I see certain things. Now, don't get me wrong. During my single parenting days, it was hard. Because I was not well off financially. I didn't have a great education. I had some skills under my belt. But what happens is when you're a parent and you're doing it alone, now everything you do, you have to consider your children. So this also compounds parenting. Not having things in place for things to be convenient for you to function. Like a good babysitter or daycare. Expenses to take care of the babysitter and the daycare. People whom you can trust to leave your child with. A decent job where you don't have to stay all night, where you can get back to your child when they come out of school. You have so many different elements to being a parent that you have to set up so that you can go to work, feel comfortable enough to leave your child with someone to care for them during the day as you make money to take care of your household. Maintaining all the bills. They're growing like weeds, honey. You got to buy clothes all the time. And that was the part I loved to do. Even though I didn't have much, honey, I was the layaway queen. My babies stayed fresh. Yes, they did. And I wasn't buying no expensive clothes and clothes either, because I'm not into that, making rich people richer. They were clean and cute. And I loved shopping for them. They were like my little dolls. Now, when they got a little older, when they began to fight and argue with each other, that's when I had a hard time too. Because getting them to just get along, that stressed me out. I wanted them to be best friends, but they went through their growing pains. They had their little phases in life, and that was my story of motherhood. But we know, we've heard some horror stories for moms, horror stories with these disobedient children, and dare I say, possessed with demons, because these children don't cooperate at all. They just give them problems night and day. Anybody, I don't care how strong you are, how you love to be a mom and you was desiring to be a mom, anybody would break down with something like that and no help, because these children today are different. And it depends. Every child has their own personality. Characteristics are something you put in your child. You teach them good character. You have to teach them morals and decency. But everybody has their own personality. And so with that being the case, you may end up with children that you actually regret having. And I'm trying to appeal to you women, because I see so many foolish women talking about, I don't have a man, but I'm well off. I got the finances. I want a baby. A baby is not a pocketbook. A baby is not a pair of shoes. When you don't feel like being bothered, you can just give it away. Put it up on a shelf. A baby is going to take up all your time and attention. You will not be yourself anymore. That old person that you were. Now, some of us are thrilled with sharing ourselves with another life. I was. But that doesn't mean it's not going to come with complication, especially when you're doing it by yourself. Even if you're doing it with your partner, children are quite demanding. They get sick. Those were the times that were very complicated for me, getting a new job and then my child gets sick that same week and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta take off already. I just got this job. That stuff is so stressful. So stressful. Teenagers running around here having sex all willy-nilly and being foolish and reckless about it and talking about, I want a baby because I just want somebody to love me. Let me tell you something. If you were not properly loved, that's why you want to have a baby, because you want somebody to love you. What do you think is going to happen to that child? That curse of you're not getting enough love is going to come down on that baby, because 9 times out of 10, you're a teenager talking about you want a baby because you want the baby to love you. The papa ain't going to be around. Y'all are not married. He's going to disappear. You're going to be stuck with the finances and full care of that child. That is not going to be fun for you, and it's certainly not going to be fun for that child, because when the child grows up, it's going to remember. He's going to say, my mother had a struggle and I didn't have my dad. They'll be angry with you. So this love that you did not have, you cannot give it to that child because you yourself did not have it. Let's get that straight. All of these people running around here talking about having a baby as if the babies are dolls, and they're not. Human souls that need to be properly cared for. It is really insane. That woman is crying her eyes out. I didn't want to hold the camera up to you guys. I just wanted you to hear her. I mean, she didn't sound like she was really crying, but I'm watching her tears are flowing down her cheeks. Flowing down her cheeks. And I've experienced some days like that, and I enjoyed being a mom. Now imagine if you did not enjoy it. The best thing you can do is set yourself up for the best situation possible. A husband, a responsible man who is in his right mind, whose heart is good. Get your heart good. Be in your right mind. Get your finances together. Y'all discuss however y'all want to run your marriage is your business, because every marriage is not the same. But make sure those 2 staples are in place. A husband and a wife, a good place to live, money for an education. You have to raise that child, and that child, for that child to be the best you want that child to be, you have to put things in place. It ain't no, oh, he's so fine, I want to have his baby. That foolishness got to go. That ridiculous thinking. Oh, let me just lay with this ball player or this actor because he got money that will guarantee me a check every month, but the child doesn't have him being in the home with them. The mind of a woman could be really foolish, because having a baby is not a joke. You are literally stuck with that child. If you're responsible enough to take on that responsibility, that baby is stuck to your hip. And sometimes till they grow up, when they're grown. Yeah, because as a mom, we're going to always help our children out when they need our help. It's a guarantee. Some mothers just say, I'm done. I did that. I raised y'all. And they have every right to say that. I'm not mad at those moms. But let me tell y'all, being a mom is not a joke. And older women, talk to the young women. I'm not telling you to discourage them from having a family. They need to have a family, but have it the way it should be had. It's not that it's going to be an easy ride with no bumps, because this is life. We're going to have issues. But if you don't make it the best possible beginning, honey, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. There are moms that regret having their children and wish they were never born, because some of these children are giving them a hard time. They're not making motherhood sweet, the sweet institution like we think it is, right? That everybody thinks it is. It is not easy. And a lot of us, either when we grow up, you know, when you're young, you see certain things and you don't like it, and you say, oh, I wish my parents did this, blah, 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 blah. But once you grow up and reality hits you and you see what this world is and how hard it is, and circumstances and situations, how it could make you feel a way, you will look back and say, wow, my parents did the best they could with what they had. Now you will find a new respect. Because a lot of times we become our parents. The things we saw them doing that we might not have liked, or the things they said, and you were like, why should I say that? We ended up repeating them and doing the very same things. But being a parent is not a joke. And let's keep it real. Mothers do the bulk of the work, and that's just a fact. Even when daddy is in the house, there are rare moments where men really are really hands on. And there are dads who take care of the home. You know, there are dads that do that as well. I'm not saying men don't do anything. But a lot of men feel like the finance part is the only part. And brothers, stop thinking like that. Because nowadays mothers are working too. You both need to do everything. Split up the chores. Go to work. Mother, she's going to be the one doing the bulk of it. That's a guarantee. I'm telling y'all that. But daddies, come on. Help out. Y'all want her to do all of this stuff. Go to work. Cook. Clean. Do homework. Do this. Do that. And then she get in bed. She can't sleep because now you all on top of her. Trying to give her another baby. Give her a break. Give her a break. This parenting thing is not easy. And it's for people who are prepared and understanding what it entails. Not foolish people who just want to be loved. Or, I just want me a baby. I don't care if I have a man. Y'all better stop thinking foolishly like that. You are responsible for another soul. It's not just the things of this earth that child need, but what's going to happen to that child in the life hereafter. Peace, love, and blessings to you.